Greetings, greetings, greetings. Welcome to another edition of Run Tell That. That's right, Run Tell That. We right here in the house and have a special guest tonight. Because in fact, all my guests are always special because it's always tied to my family. And the thing that I realized, I've been blessed. I've been blessed in my short lifespan to have some wonderful people. That is from when we go from Sister Candace to Sister CT, Bride Greg, Bride Quasi, Bride BJ Dennis, Sister Daniela. That again, with regards to Queen Quet, we've been blessed. Brother Aunt Maven, we've been blessed. And so tonight, this evening, I'm blessed to have my brother straight from the VI, Charlotte O'Malley. That's right. And he got in the house, my brother, Dr. Ifikhan Simon.
Yes, welcome.
Dr. First, conquering Lion of Judah. My brother is a health enthusiast, a progressive farmer, enlightened physician. And so again, Brother Ifikhan, Dr. Ifikhan Simon, it's an honor to have you here with us tonight, brother.
Yeah, thanks for the invite, brother.
Yes, indeed. And so now I'm going to do this just a little introduction also for the people, let you know. Ifikhan and I were right there at Savannah State together. And one of the interesting things that happened, see, I've been around folks right there in Camilla Hubert, right there who are from Nigeria. So we eat some of the food, so again, the food that they eat from Nigeria, same food we eat right here. And then one day we're in the apartment. Ifikhan said to me, he like, man, Jamal, I need to get some conch. I look at Ifikhan like, conch? You eat conch? He said, man, we eat conch in the VI. I'm like, oh. So now what happened? I'm not making connection from here to Africa, now coming right there to the VI, to the Caribbean. I'm like saying, yo, this is real. Black folks are the same no matter where we are. Then 1 year, 2 years ago, I'm doing a video right on Montgomery Street, Ifikhan right there. And so Ifikhan, we talk about stuff, I'm doing a video. Ifikhan said something that gave me the title for this show right here that I've been using. You can't have a revolution if you can't feed yourself.
Yeah,
he was like, man, brother, when you said that, I was like, yo, that's deep right there.
Yes.
Finally, what happened was that our brother Randall Hopp and his wife come and do a tour with me, and we at First African Baptist Church. We at First African, and this was prior to Ifikhan, me seeing him on Montgomery Street, right at Island Breeze. But what happens? We at First African, we in the fellowship hall, and then that's when Randall Hopper said to me, Simon is farming. I was like, what? He's like, man, Simon gave me some vegetables and stuff. I said, what? He around here farming, so we call him up. And so that's why my brother is here tonight. And so my brother, we're going to move right on into it. Okay. We live in a fast-paced world. And basically, because our society is fast, we eat a lot of fast food, processed food, So tell me, why is nutrition important when it takes such a long time for us to deal with the nutrition, get the nutrition? Why shouldn't I have my fast food?
Well, nutrition is the thing that the only way the body operates, the only fuel the body has comes from food. So the quality of your fuel determines your body and what condition your body gonna be in. So you have to have that nutrition correct. Now the body itself calls for a certain nutrition. It tells you, your body says to you, I need this or I need that. So a lot of times you're running around trying to look for what to eat. And if you answer the question of your body of what is needed, then you actually won't have to eat a lot, nor would you have that craving, like you want something, you want something, you want some. And because body says, if you know how to put it in the body correct or get the right things for the body don't run around hungry. If you and I are hanging out together, you would rarely hear me say, hey man, I'm hungry. I guarantee you, most people say they're hungry before I ever say I'm hungry. Because I have in my body, I put in my body what's essential. So my body's not craving for food, craving for this, craving for that. Yeah. So it's that craving is why we go and eat certain things.
All right. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So what are keys to healthy living?
Okay. Now, keys to healthy living. These are some old things. Everybody hear them all the time. You have to rest. People don't rest. Rest is the way the body restores itself and gets certain hormones back into sync. You got to rest. You got to eat. And of course, this is what this topic is going to be about, eating. And the mind, you have to de-stress the mind. The mind gets filled with a lot of things on a daily basis. Some things it retains and holds. Things that are associated with flavor, things that are associated with a certain emotion tends to stick. We tend to remember things that have a big impact on us. And so we have to have a way to create in our mind good things, meaning you be exposed to things that will help your mind refresh itself. And so now the movement, the body physically moving is going to help. That's where you have joints. That's where you have muscles. It's used to movement. A natural part of it is to move. So I think the number one key I tell people is naturally know what your body is made for. And then you should naturally maintain those things or keep those things going. And that's how you maintain good health.
Okay. So, and that's why we're moving to this right here. Why is health maintenance important for us, especially as we age? Why is health maintenance important as we age?
Okay. Well, because there's certain things that will naturally decline with us. Elasticity of our skin naturally changes. The thickness of our skin in terms of the fat layer, that naturally changes. But there's some other things that don't need to change that often change simply because we neglect certain things. For example, good blood flow. Good blood flow in your body should happen basically throughout your life. And it should happen so because you're eating things that maintain your arteries to stay open, your veins to stay strong so you can return blood back to your heart so you can get oxygenated and return back out. We need good lungs. Our lung capacity, that will decline with age. That's another thing that declines is lung capacity. But if we maintain good breathing, deep breathing, the fresher air we breathe, the better. When we do exercise, it allows our the small little sacs in our lungs to open up more easily. And by them opening easily, we exchange air better. So actually you function better as you age. So it's not a matter of preventing death per se, but a matter of living your best life until death.
And that's interesting. Something you just said. I did not realize that as we age, lung capacity begin to diminish. Didn't realize that.
Naturally, yeah. It declines naturally, yeah.
Didn't realize that. And so, what are some other simple and good habits with regards to food items to lifestyle? Because we're going to be jumping into some other things, again, the progressive stuff that you're doing with regard to farming. But what are some other simple lifestyles and good habits that we need to be engaging in?
Well, a quick, easy habit that I do, I try to wake up early and go outside and breathe fresh air. A lot of times that's when the air is cleanest, early in the morning. Nothing else ain't moving. You get out there, you breathe that fresh air. It's nicely condensed. You take it in and you meditate on it. When I say meditate, I mean you actually feel it going in from it, leaving from your nostrils down into your trachea, into your bronchioles, into your alveolar sac, exchanging oxygen with your veins, going back in through your heart, going right. And just the thought about that fresh air going in actually relaxes your mind. It actually relaxes all your vessels in your body and gives you a clear thought. So automatically, that's one. Two, appreciate yourself. I mean, just appreciate yourself for who you are and how the Almighty God created you, and just say thanks. That's a big part of staying healthy, because then you show the appreciation for your Creator, you show appreciation for yourself, and then you can move forward with your day. And drink a glass or two of water first thing in the morning to cleanse the toxin that been sitting in you throughout the night, and then commence your day.
Now, I will throw this out there and let you all know that I rely on Ifikon and Coach Sam Carter on some of my information with regards to lifestyle and how to live and things to do. And I'll go and say personally for myself, I felt that my lifestyle, I felt that information that Coach Sam Carter shared with me, what Ifikon shared with me, played a role with regards to me even dealing with COVID. And the funny thing is this, that Ifikon, when he found out I had COVID, he contacted me and said, man, you could have contacted me. I was like, I said, I know, but I didn't have to contact him at that time, because guess what? He had already shared with me insight. So I was already infused with regards to the information. So right there, so that made it better for me. And so again, that's why I say it is crucial for us, to have, sources, because we can look it up ourselves and gain the information, but then to have those sources around us who are doing things that are progressive. And that's why I'm going to say Coach Sam Carter shared some things with me. And then when I talk with Ifikon, they saying the same exact thing. And I was like, yo, something as simple as walnuts. Coach Carter had been saying, eat walnuts, eat walnuts. So when I'm having a conversation with Ifikon after my COVID experience, he talking about walnuts. And I was like, yo, that's why I'm saying here we got people who got the resources. And so that's why, my brother, I want to acknowledge you publicly and say it's an honor always to engage you in conversation about health maintenance, about how to live. And so,
I want to interrupt and check this in.
Okay.
There's another healthy habit that I've been doing for years. And I learned this habit from, and like I say, being around other people. Mustafa Brown. I know you recall Mustafa Brown. He's in college, yeah. And he had put me up and allowed me to stay in his apartment for a little bit when we were in college. And he used to come back and wash his hands and his face thoroughly, and then rinse his nose out. And he was telling me he would clean the dust from his body daily, from his nostril, just being outside, just clean that dust out because there's toxins in it. I was like, man, that's interesting. And I started doing that. I've been doing it for years. When this thing came around at COVID, I was telling people, I said, man, I've been telling you all about certain behaviors long time ago. And I've been putting up, healthy things to eat, healthy things to drink. And one of the things we highlighted even was just preparation.
Yes.
Preparation is never at the mercy of situation.
Okay.
This thing, we have to prepare ourselves. And so that's when you were talking, I was saying, man, I'm around people who don't want to feed themselves or make no effort. Even hunting, it's good to have a good hunter around. Somebody go there and shoot a deer and bring some deer meat. Somebody big fish and get some fish for you. Somebody who's doing some planting. You better have those friends in your life so they can bring this fresh food in. It's not like fresh food. The less hands touch your food, the better.
Powerful statement. And again, let me go and share with you, Coach Carter. If Ifikon saying something, Ifikon and I never had this conversation, but Coach Carter said one of the things that we need to eat real food, real vegetables, real fruits, real meats. We need to eat real food, not necessarily the process. And that's why when I threw it out in the beginning, fast food, a lot of us like the fast food because again, it's convenient. but then that's not the best. And as you just want to say, if a lot of hands are touching your food along the way, it's losing a part of the value. I'm throwing that part, losing part of the value. So
Yep.
it needs to be as fresh as possible. And we know that that's what our parents had told us, grandparents had told us. And so, my brother, that's why fresh food. Oh, I need to share this with you too.
Mm.
Something that you said is a key with regards to when you wake up in the morning and about how you create your day. That I've shared with folks and taught the folks in Virginia this week right here. I said that when I wake up in the morning, I look in the mirror and I love me. I
That's
have
right.
good feelings about me. And
Mhm.
so guess what? Because I have good feelings about me, I can have good feelings about other people. But if I wake up in the morning and I don't like me, guess what? I'm not gonna like you and I'm not gonna like other people. But again, that sets you on a path with
Mhm.
regard to having a great day and also a great life. So now we're gonna move into the real thing, the major thing for us. My brother, why is it important for us to be farming? Why is it important for us to be farming?
Well, it's important because one is historically we've been farmers. We've been taking care of ourselves historically. It goes back to the connect. And if for those of you who are biblical readers, the first job was that of a farmer. And to be able
Mm,
to grow your food, you connect with the earth that actually strengthens and nourishes you. You you connect with something that don't lie to you. That's Mother Nature. Mother Nature never lies. And by seeing your food grow, you actually know what's in it, and what's in it, you know it's good for you. I mean, and anybody could go and read all the things of what's in vegetables and so forth, and what this vegetable is good. But if you take a vegetable, just like an individual, and put the vegetable in an environment where from the ground or from wherever environment is in, it's taking garbage versus taking good nutrition, which one is be better for you? If you take myself and you put me in an environment where I'm fed pollution, I'm taught to do wrong
mm,
things,
mm,
taught
mm,
to
mm.
steal, to lie,
Yes,
to take from others,
yes.
and then you put the same individual in a society or environment that's taught to love, to share, to care for others, then which you think gonna be a better product for your community? Which product will you choose in your community? Well, the same thing. When you start a farm, when you start a small, it gives you a connection, and it also stress.
I think you're getting frozen if it can.
To be fed. So yeah, we got frozen here.
Uh, uh,
So go to
it,
the
it,
garden and be fed and learn. Yes.
so if it can, I think your connection is freezing up a bit. I think the people miss some good information you were sharing.
Oh man. Oh man. All right. Well, so what I'm saying is that the earth, we were originally gardeners. We were put on this earth to garden. So from the garden, we get to learn and connect from the garden. And by learning, it clears our mind. It allows our mind to be free to accept quality teaching. It actually directs you what to eat. I mean, when you look at plants themselves, you look at a plant and you say, okay, this plant is lacking this. And then you look at your own life and you see what your own life is lacking.
Mm, yes.
So it all connects, and it's that way. And it teach you have to appreciate others better, because you'll see one plant growing next to another, and you say, oh, this plant is growing well next to this plant. Like, I can grow well next in this community versus that community, or what's affecting my community. So you look at a garden, you say, oh, you know what, these things coming up in the garden is not good for it. I may need to go to the root of the problem. You go into the earth, you find some grubs. You say, oh, grub is not good for the plants. It's eating up my roots. It's killing my roots. You look in your own life, you say, what's killing my roots?
Mm,
What's tearing away my connection from others? Then you may look at the stem and you see the stem is all beaten up. So what's beating up my stem? You see it's wind. It might be the wind. So you may have to put a different plant to block the wind. And in your own life, you might have to put something in your way to block the wind from destroying you, to allow you to grow. And realize, if I could grow tall and strong, but if I don't have a quality foundation, if you don't give a plant a quality foundation, so you take a tomato plant, for example. When you buy a tomato plant in the store, you don't just plant it in the ground. You pick off the bottom leaves and you bury a lot of the stem into the ground, and you leave a few leaves on top, because the stem part will have little fuzzy little things. They will generate themselves into roots. So you give it a bigger root system so it could grow strong. If you take a young man in your community, you give him a lot of things when he's young. If you take me and I'm 16, you try to develop me at 16, you lost, you behind. You can't change me at 16. But if you take me at 4, so investment in our community, like an investment in our garden, is for the seedlings. So I invest in my seedlings. You see me put a lot of work into starting a seed, a lot of work into the seedlings, a lot of care, a lot of comfort. Then by July, you don't see me doing any work in my garden at all, except picking, eating. And then in the fall, if I coming down to Savannah, I'm bringing you some bok choy.
That's right. Lemongrass.
I'm bringing you some bok choy.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. I'm just giving it away. And I'm like, hey, who wants this? Boom. Anybody who visits me, never leave empty-handed. They leave with a dozen eggs in their hands or something. Dozen eggs, some bok choy, some beets, some kale.
Yes. And that's why I need to get the kale, because if it come with the one told me when all this guy started last year, he was like, kale. And then I said, but if I can't get kale, what can I get? You was like, get some greens, get them greens. And so I was like, okay. So that's why I was infusing that. That's why I said, so again, I think with regard to my battle was tied to, again, we had that foundation that you talked about, and you put it out there. Again, because sometimes we like to compartmentalize and think that it's just this aspect of life. No, it's not that. We kick open the box, and just like you shared. So I gotta now throw it out there to you, because some people I know are definitely interested. So people, when I put out the if it was going to be on the show, they say, okay, we need to know some of his farming techniques. What are his farming techniques? Because again, he's producing stuff. So again, the people out there, if it can't, they want them techniques.
Well, most of my things they come free. So one of the things I do, we start out with the first year. It takes time, but the first year we went to the neighbor and we raked up all the neighbors' leaves. They have pecan trees. We went and rake up all the pecan tree leaves in the fall, put them in bags, and dump them on the site that we say gonna be the garden. Then that spring, the bags were full, and they both basically came down to 1/4 their size. All of that leaf broke down into dirt, and there was a bunch of worms all in it, a bunch of earthworms. So we let that go. Then we went and called tree service people and said, hey, when you cut down them trees and you need some place to dump your wood chips, we want you to dump it here. They say, oh, you want us to? Oh, they just dump. And I was like, yeah, great. And then we went around the neighborhood. My wife went around the neighborhood with a minivan, and people rake up their leaves and put them in plastic for the trash people to pick up. Because they pick up all the leaves. My wife went and pick up all those leaves, and we started there first. Then we let nothing go to waste. We started composting. Basically, dig a hole, drop your food scrap in, cover it up, and it may be no more than a 2x2 spot. Cover that up, go to another 2x2 spot, cover it up, go to another 2. I kept moving on. But the wood chips, a young lady told me about watching a video on YouTube. It's called Back to Eden. And I said, yeah, Eden, boom, sounds good. But if you go to a forest or you go to the woods, you'll see leaves on the ground, decomposing. You scratch over the leaves, you're going to see things in there breaking it down for you, putting nutrients back in, earthworms putting nutrients in. Well, we just recreated the same thing, and it grows. Wood chips hold, when it rains heavy, the wood chips grab the water in like a sponge.
Okay. Okay.
When the plant needs the water, because the plant don't need it when it's in the middle of the rain. The plant gonna take the rain. The wood chip just slowly release the water to the plant. And then it also insulates the plant from the heat, just like you have to insulate your community from the heat, from the stress. You got to give your community what it needs when it needs it. You can't overwhelm your community. If I flood you with $2,000 stimulus check, and I flood it to you, the first thing you think, hey, I get $2,000, I'm gonna have a party. I got $2,000. Let me buy fresh kicks. Let me buy a fresh shirt. You know, whereas, and then it's done. But if you say, hey, look, here's $100, and we're gonna put a little local area grocery in your neighborhood, your local farmers could bring to your community, and then your community could buy fresh produce from, then you're better served than that $2,000 you got. You know, so the key with the gardening, and then knowing what grows well where. I can't put all the tomatoes in the same spot all the time. I got to move the tomatoes around year by year, because the tomatoes taken from the soil what the tomatoes need. When other tomatoes go to that same soil, it's not there.
Yes, sir.
I can't do the same thing to one plant over and over again. So sometimes you'll see that some plants need a little shade. So in my garden, if you're gonna come to my garden right now, you see the kale in one spot. Well, come summer, the kale will be in another spot. Because this is the kale bed now, but now the kale bed is moved. Because the kale was shaded. Because if you stand up outside your house right now, well, not right now, but tomorrow morning, your shadow gonna be in one spot. And if by 3 months from now, your shadow gonna be in a different spot, in that same spot you're standing, simply because the sun rotated on you. And so the plants are grown by the rotation of the sun. So somebody would tell me, I thought lettuce was a cold weather, like the cold, like the. I said, yeah, but if you keep the roots cool, it could grow in the heat.
Okay.
Because the roots are cool.
Y'all got that.
Taken care of. Yeah.
Y'all got that. Yes. Now I'm gonna say this, my brother. People out there listening from the EOA, you know, Sister Vanessa, my cousin Vanessa, our sister Terry, our sister, you know, Angela. So everybody out there, so they jumping on this, and they saying, yes, this is what we need, this is what we want. Brother Mike, my brother Jack, you know, all my and my people out there, Brother Walter and Quasi, one of them Pianki boys, used to be right there on the campus, would come out there. Quasi said, because Quasi is a chef farmer. They saying yes, but now I gotta throw this out there to you, because you said something. Me and you had these conversations. Ifikon, I live in the city.
Okay.
So how can I do farming in the city? How can I farm in the city?
Well, you see, a big thing is this. We each have a part to play. I am not going to law school, so I could send my brother to law school.
Yeah.
You see, I am not going to sit on a computer and figure out how to work computers. You know, before this program started, I was trying with a computer. Somebody's gonna figure that out for me.
Right.
So I went to medical school to become medical doctor. Some people don't like blood; they can't handle. You know, they're not going to deliver babies. They're not going to open nobody's chest. They're not going to do all that stuff. They're like, I can't handle that. So that's why I can handle that part. So if I got brother in the city, I said to him, I said, listen, I'm in the country, but you utilize, you consume the things in the city. You might have some eggshells that you can collect for me. I know you got a Starbucks somewhere up in your city, and you might even know your Starbucks manager. I hate to advertise, but you're a coffee shop. You might have a coffee shop somewhere. Your coffee shop people could save some coffee grounds, so you could contribute. So it becomes a cooperative, because you realize you cannot do everything.
Okay.
You cannot do everything, but you can partner with someone.
Yes.
To help. You know, if somebody calls me and say, hey, Dr. Simon, my child is interested in becoming a doctor, I could help. If my child is interested in becoming a college professor, I'm calling you. If my child is interested in becoming a lawyer, I'm calling you. I'm saying, Jamal, my daughter is looking for this. My son is looking for this. If my son is interested in going into what you call it, communications and the film industry, I'm calling Randy Thorpe, who's behind the camera somewhere in somebody's film. I'm like, help me. So no, I don't expect you in the city to do everything. Now, there are container gardens you could start growing. You could have a little container, develop a container in your porch, and you could start growing something, even if you're picking a couple of cherry tomatoes in the morning. So you can go out to that cherry tomato tree and pick 1 or 2 cherry tomatoes, pop it in your mouth, and say blessings, and go on from there. So there are things you can do. You could co-op. You could start container gardens. You could have a park. You may have a park nearby. You could have a park garden. You might have a school nearby. You could start a garden in a school and work with kids as you teach them. And you teach them the garden is a metaphor for life. Yes. And I think there's a poem actually out there talking about that as well. So there are things you could do related to gardening. And for all the women, if your man garden, he becomes a better lover. I'm just telling you.
That's right. That's right, brother. That's right.
I like to hit that one, and then people ask me, "You must explain." But the key is gardening. A person who gardens learn to take care of things. They communicate with the plants like they communicate with you. They realize you don't need water all the time. You need nutrition. Sometimes you need to be supported. You need to be held. Okay. Sometimes you need to be trimmed. You need to be told, "Hey, honey, this ain't the right thing. This ain't the right way."
Yes.
So a man who gardens can relate gardening to how he relates to you.
Okay.
He learns to take away the weeds from around you. Okay. He blocks the breeze from blowing on you too hard. And these are the kind of things that when I'm talking to somebody about gardening, somebody comes to me and I'm teaching them, I'm telling them these things because of the communication I'm having with them, because I want to look at it like it's real, it's about life. And once you think of it like that, you don't have to eat a plateful, you eat a bowl.
Yes, sir.
And a bowl holds more substance than a plate.
A bowl holds more substance than a plate?
That's right.
What you mean by that, If Khan? What you mean by that?
Take a bowl and rock it. Okay? Take a plate and rock it. Put your food on a plate and rock it. Put your food in a bowl and rock it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You lose it from a plate, but you hold it in a bowl. That's why they have the term soul in a bowl.
All right. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. All right. So, If Khan, great points with regard to the values that, again, that we need to have and understand. But now, I'm going to make it personal, and that you have shared some things with me. When I say that I have a backyard, but my backyard has a bunch of shade. So can I grow anything? Yes. So, because I know some of my people out there who live in the cities, or they may live even in rural areas, they may talk about this and talk about, can I farm? So what are the things that I can grow?
So in Savannah, because we were talking specifically about you. In Savannah, you have all the big trees with all the moss coming off of it. In the wintertime, those trees lose their leaves. And it's an excellent time because they have the sun coming. It's an excellent time to grow that bok choy. It's an excellent time to grow the turnip greens. It's an excellent time to grow kale. And Savannah is just ripe for those particular things growing. And as I recall, I think a lot of Southern people like those turnip greens and collard greens and mustard greens, as I recall.
Because I was going to hit you that, because you keep hitting me with the turnip greens, but I like, can I grow my collard greens?
Yes, you can grow your collard greens because those leaves are going to fall from those trees in Savannah. I've seen it. I've been about 7 years of my adult life in Savannah, Georgia. So I know Savannah. But the leaves are going to fall, so you can build areas back there in those backyards real easy. Now listen, I know a gentleman, and this is what he did to start a garden. He took a cardboard box, he put it on the ground, threw dirt in it, and planted. The box will break down, but not before that plant take root. All he did was put a box in. So you could go in your backyard in Savannah, Georgia, get a box out of any of these stores that have boxes in them. I don't want to call names. Punch holes in the bottom of the boxes. Boop, 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 boop. Throw dirt in it. Any dirt you want to find that they'll say garden dirt, throw it in. Plant a few plants in there. Start watering. It's going to grow. And that begins your garden spot right there.
And I'm so happy you said that, brother, because that's, again, the things that you were sharing, that for some of us, we think that we can't do anything, that even if we got that bucket, we act like we can't grow nothing, but we got a bunch of buckets in our house. And so that's what I know you were sharing with me, like, hey, you could do this right here, you could do that, and say, this is the time. So I want our audience who listen on Run Tell That, on ATR Media, for you to understand that you can do something, that you can grow. Again, when Tom was saying that cooperative, that one person might grow something, somebody else grows something, and that's us working together. That's why again, we all coming together. Collective working responsibility. So I want you to understand that something can happen. You can make it happen. It can occur. That's why you got to believe that struggle of self and getting rid of all that doubt and understanding can be fulfilled. So my brother, now I'm going to ask you this question. What do you grow and why do you grow? What are the things that you grow and why do you grow it also?
Okay, so I focus on growing things that, one, would have what you call max nutrition for the body.
Okay.
And so things that are strong, and people can look this up, called phytochemicals. The greens, the things that are green tend to hold things with that high fiber. They tell you all the time about eating fiber. Go to your doctors and say, oh, eat fiber. Yeah. And they want you to go to the store and buy these 5 tablets or
Metamucil, stuff like that. Yes, sir.
Exactly. Now, and then we also tell people, drink a lot of water. So I try to grow foods that are going to be high in fiber with a high water content. Because if the water, the fiber, and the chemical compounds that are healthy for my body to help with proper blood flow, if I could consume them together in total, if I consume them together as one product, it's better absorbed by my body. So that's why I grow bok choy. Bok choy allows for blood vessels to open up. I know a lot of people. There was a pill once that in the mid 1990s came out that a lot of men spent a lot of money on to open up blood flow.
Yes, sir.
Well, bok choy opens up blood flow without no doubt. Okay. Your heart needs blood. Bok choy opens up blood flow. Okay. I've even had some people tell me, oh, they can't eat bok choy because they'll have to come off their blood thinners. Well, I'm like, interesting, isn't that? That had you been eating bok choy all along, you never had to be in blood thinners. Just think about that part. Now,
that's what that when you just said that, I'm like, okay, yeah.
I'm just telling you, because it keep your cholesterol down. It reduces your blood pressure, because if your vessels aren't getting tight, they open it up. Blood is flowing freely. Blood flow to the brain. You're thinking clearer. So that's why I grow a lot of bok choy. I also grow a lot of kale. Kale is easily put in smoothies. People like for smoothies and things of that nature. I could also eat it raw. Anything I grow, my chickens also can eat. So my chickens eat bok choy almost every day. They eat kale almost every day. Can you imagine? Chickens eating better than you? I mean, something. So when they have eggs, when I have eggs and I crack an egg and you taste one of the eggs, it's like, man, where you got these eggs from? They eat, so beets is another thing. They eat beets. So we know beets And the athletes know about beets because they buy beet juice, and they talk about nitric oxide and sports performance. Well, I'm growing it, and I'm growing it in soil that's dense with nutrition because I'm doing the leaves are going back in the ground. The worms are in there producing micronutrients being absorbed by the plants, and then I'm consuming those plants. It's all another reason you grow greens is it's easy to grow. It tolerates the environment we are currently in. But you could literally grow certain greens immediately after a storm. Say if an island has a hurricane.
Yes.
They plant the seeds, those kind of seeds for mustard green, turnip greens, kale. Within a month, they don't have too much to eat. Within a month. But if they wait for a ship or a cargo ship to bring their food in, too late. Because it's going to come in sparsely. It's going to come in about 7 days after, right? It's going to come in sparsely. Then people's interest in your storm is gone because there's another storm somewhere else. Then there's a fire out in California. Then there's flooding in Texas. There's a snowstorm in the east, right? And you left with nothing because you were like this with your hands, asking somebody to put something in your hand, versus putting your hand in the ground. And people say, "Oh, you gotta have a green thumb." No, you don't.
Okay, go ahead.
No, you don't. You have what you have on you, and that's how you grow it. If you put your thumb in the ground, it could never be green. And the only green thumb I've ever saw in my entire life was, I think, Lou Ferrigno, Incredible Hulk on TV. It was that green. Yeah, that's about only green. So, like islands throughout the Caribbean should be actively growing.
Yes.
Communities throughout the South should be actively growing.
Yes.
A man living in Alaska and growing greens in Alaska. Imagine, with only 100 days of sunshine, he growing greens in Alaska, and I'm in the South, and I'm not growing greens too. So I'm lunatic then. So no, we should be growing. So I grow those things. Now, I also grow berries. We have strawberries. I'm not too much on the strawberries. I grow them because my wife said grow strawberries, so I grow strawberries. But the blueberries, the blackberries, yes, you make sure you grow those. They're easy to grow. In the South, we have a thing called briars.
Yes,
Well, the berries, the blackberries, the blackberries will grow just wherever you see that growing, the blackberry will grow as well.
Yeah.
And it comes back year after year, and it comes back more and more year after year. You prune it. When you finish, you prune it, it comes back even greater. And so another concept about gardening and learning from gardening, you got to prune. Some things you got to prune. So that's why a person who gardens connects better with life, because they understand what pruning is about. So berries you grow. Now I also grow okra. The reason I grow okra, because if you look at an okra is one of the few plants, and this is biblical. It's yellow as a flower. It points straight to the sky, giving praises to above.
Yes, sir.
The consistency of an okra is like the consistency of your digestive system.
Okay.
Allowing for better absorption. Just look at an okra. Cut an okra, squeeze it up in your hand. What do you feel? Slime. Stick your hand in your mouth. What do you feel? Mucus. Same consistency. Allow for better digestion through your system. So I drink okra. I blend it up in a blender.
Okay.
Drink it. I put some hot peppers. Well, I don't do it. My wonderful wife takes care of her part, but she does it. Perfect. And it loves your skin to be good, because your skin will be nice and moist. I don't have to put moisturizer on my face, because the consistency of it allows for better absorption, and you allow for good skincare.
Okay. Yes, indeed.
So those are my mainstays in my garden. Those things are keys to my garden right there. Those It's always basically always growing.
Yes.
Okras don't grow year round, but they those others do.
Yes. And see, I'll say this, my cousin Brandon, especially if he was checking us out, he'd be like, yeah, he like, Jamal, because your mama always had us out there as kids going collecting them blackberries so she could make that blackberry dumpling. So, you know, it came from your grandmama that she had us out there as kids, just right, getting them blackberries. And when I saw it, you know, and then what my cousin talked about like 3 weeks ago, we were talking about, saying, we collected blackberries, but we wound up eating more of the blackberries and collected them. So, but that's a part of it. And also the other thing too, now if you even say it, but I'm just throwing it, and you eat a lot of blackberries, it'll make you go to the bathroom too. I'm just saying.
Yes.
So,
yes. No, but here's the key. Here's the key. I go out and I pick up a handful.
Yes. Uh-huh.
Right. And that's another morning thing I do. I eat my blackberries in the morning. I go out.
Yes.
I pick. I eat. Handful. I'm done. I'm good.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So you will know your body in such a way that you say, hey, some people all it needs a handful. Some people need two.
Right. Uh-huh.
But you're not gonna need beyond two. You're not gonna need beyond two. So your body should tell you, say, you know what? Don't do that tomorrow, or don't do that the next day.
Yes, sir. Yes,
but that's
sir.
when we listen to our body, we get in tune with our bodies, and we say to our bodies, oh, okay, yeah, this don't make things better.
Yes.
This don't keep it right. And so the excesses, sometimes we do excess. I don't need people to do excess. We have, and so gardening teaches you not to do excess. So I don't need to grow a garden full of okras. I grow the okra based on what I have, what I could do.
Right.
I grow the kale according to what I could do.
Yes.
You know, what I could eat. I don't go beyond. I don't need to go beyond that.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Because I'm not trying to profit anything. Nor do I sell anything. I've never sold anything from my garden. Never.
Yes, sir.
I've gone to people's homes here in Spartanburg County and put gardens in their backyard for them. And most of them, all I ask them to do is put a little effort in it.
Yes. Uh-huh. Yes. Yes. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. And that's what I was going to throw out there, because I know, because you got Terry Mobley out there, Sister Deborah out there, and they all, you know, because they all excited, you know, and Chef Quasi, you know, he automatically down. They said they about to do 5 acres each, you know, with regards to some gardening. And so I will not that I put my brother on the spot, but if it kind is known to travel to other areas to help guide folks with regards to their farming, creating their compost. But I'm not telling any of y'all to hit my brother up right now with regards. I ain't put him on the spot. That ain't why he here. You know, but I know some of y'all like, Jamal, run tell that and tell me how to get in touch with him so he can come to Savannah now, you know, come to some other location, you know, around the country and help us with regards to this. But he's been known to do that, going North Carolina, South Carolina, and helping people. And so that's, again, the great work. But I got to throw this out there to you, brother. I like sweets. I like chocolate. I like chocolate. So what type of chocolate should I probably eat, my brother, if I want some chocolate? Because, you know, I would say kind of like real chocolate, not, you know, confectionery, fake chocolate.
Yes. Well, you know, when I come to Savannah, there's a candy shop in Savannah. I don't call no name. I go and spend like about $20-$30 on sweets too. So I like sweets. Now, it's hard to get away from some sweet. You got to have it. It's that thing. So in terms of chocolate, I do eat chocolate. With no doubt, I do eat chocolate. But you need to go with a dark chocolate. The usually you want to hit like a 70% cocoa on your chocolate. When you buy it, just you know, buy the real deal and enjoy. Now, you don't go excess. You don't need not the milk chocolate now. The dark cocoa, about 70%. Okay, if you put a little fruit with it, it'll take some of that edge off and add a special sweet to it. So I would do mine with blackberries, blueberries, that kind of stuff. Now, if you put a chocolate in your mouth, a little piece of chocolate in your mouth, probably a 1.5 by 1.5 square, put it in your mouth and just chew it. Just chew it. Don't swallow. Just chew it. What happens is the taste registers to your brain. The effects of the chocolate registers, but that kind of chocolate has a special ingredient in it that can lower your blood pressure. Special ingredient to open up your blood vessels. So yes, you can eat chocolate. You just got to choose the right one. And that's the way you read. So when you go to the store, the chocolate aisle, read your chocolates and see. And pick the right one. And once you pick the right one, you can see, and you eat it. And once you put your money chewed up like that, what that does, that taste stays in your mouth for 30 minutes. You don't have to eat. That taste will stay in your mouth, and you'll enjoy that chocolate.
Okay. So, you know, that's why I had to make sure I brought that up, because I know some of the listening audience. So that way I say, because that can help some of them, because I tell folks again, lifestyle, we're talking about lifestyle, we're talking about health maintenance, we're talking about, especially as people are aging, people growing older. And that's why, again, this is for young and old. But again, I tell people, you take care of yourself right now, especially when you're young, you don't have this issue when you're older. So again, exactly. And if you're older, guess what? You can get back on track to be where you were when you were younger, and be healthy with regards to this, and that the farming and all the techniques that if you're kind of throwing out there, is things that we can do right in our own home. Mm-hmm. That even if we don't have that lot, we got space around our homes that we can do that, and we can form relationships and cooperation with other people and doing this again. We coming together collectively. So my brother, I'm gonna say again, it's an honor and pleasure to have you here. And so I'm looking forward to the lemongrass also, because you ain't saying nothing about the lemongrass, but the lemongrass, you know, but lemongrass, we're looking at.
Well, yes, the herbs, yeah. So we didn't really talk about the herbs. I do also grow what you call the lemon thyme. There's the lemongrass, yes. A lot of people got access, but the lemon thyme, in which I grow that, I dry it, or I can eat it fresh. I eat it fresh with my eggs. I could eat it fresh with put on pizza. You can put on a salad. We make our own pizza, of course. You can dry it and make a tea. It's called lemon thyme. There's English thyme, because people know thyme, they know English thyme, but lemon thyme. There's also like you mentioned, lemongrass, and then there a couple of other herbs that we grow that we keep together, and we make our own teas out of those. I always got to be careful though, because when I'm making my teas, people looking at it, you may think it's something else. I'm like, no, I ain't with that. I ain't with that. No. Yeah, yes, I said, but this is tea, natural teas. Yeah. So we got so the herbs are growing. So you know, we keep that, all the oreganos, the you name it, we got herbs growing as well. Yeah.
Yes, sir. My brother, again, we appreciate it. And I had to share this with you, Ifikon. We're gonna have to eventually do a part 2. I realize this is a part 1, because the people are liking this, because our people need to hear this, and I'm just throwing it out there to you. We're gonna do a part 2. When your schedule works out, we can get you back on Run Tell That. We're gonna have you right here with us again, giving it up to the people. So again, and like I said, I know someone gonna probably try to hit me up and try to get your contact information, so you can come help them with regards to some of their own growing here in this area or around. But I ain't gonna let y'all know nothing. I ain't gonna let y'all know. I ain't gonna put my brother on the spot like that. So my brother,
I need to make clear with you one thing. My daughter said, "Dad, you gotta make sure he advertised you correctly, because people might just think you just a person who just call yourself a doctor. You need to make sure he says MD, that you earned your degree at the medical college. You graduated from Savannah State College. You got your medical degree from the Medical College of Georgia, and you did 5 years of training after that. And you're a real doctor, licensed, been practicing unrestricted and uninterrupted for the past 20-something years." So
see now, and tell her I intentionally did not put the MD on there. I did that intentional because see, they're gonna start trying to contact for medical advice, and we ain't here to give no medical advice. That ain't what we doing. That's why I had said stuff like that, health maintenance and other things like that, because you know how some of us are.
yes,
So,
you're right. Okay, I got you.
So nobody can say he gave me medical advice. No, nada. It's about health maintenance. So
you excuse.
So let her know that's why it was a method to my madness. So again, my brother, glad to have you on Run Tell That. And like I said, we're gonna be doing a part 2, and we'll be putting it out there. And so I might slip and put a small MD down there, so that way, so your daughter be satisfied, but ain't giving out no medical advice. And you heard the words that if you know how to garden as a man, that makes you a better lover to other people. And that came from my brother, Dr. Ifikon Simon, MD, Savannah State University, as it's called today, but Savannah State College back in the day, and Medical College of Georgia. Made it happen right here. My brother, appreciate you always. Much love, continued success, always soaring. We go forward.
B.I.
Peace and blessings.
Peace and blessings.
Thank you all for joining. Run, Tell That. Go on, child.